That's one of the things. So that is like a twofold. We are, you know, that our desire is to please the man.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, that's why, we have a lot of issues with that. But until you decide to validate yourself, you you're going to always get caught up. And I have too until I learned. I had to learn.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So
I
true.
really I like where this conversation is going in terms of just thinking about how often how we grew up with, we're watching depending on when you grew up, the Disney movies or having the Barbie dolls, and Ken is supposed to, we're conditioned to want relationship. And I think, meanwhile the boys are like cars, 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 going outside and run. They're not thinking about relationship in the way that I think women start from a very early age and wanting that. Before we go to our first video, I really want to hear some more of this, Micah. Like, you laid such a great foundation, I think, for the conversation. I would love to hear more about, in your perspective, maybe, first of all, have you ever been stir crazy or almost lost your mind because of someone?
I have, absolutely.
Big one.
I have. So, and it was a huge learning experience, like
Mhm.
early 20s that taught me emotional regulation and to mature,
Mhm.
and to walk away and to not let anyone take me there. I was stirred so crazy I ended up in the hospital for severe
Yeah.
chest pains.
Yeah.
So, that taught me right then and there, like, you know what,
Mhm.
ladies, raising your voice all the time might not be the best thing for you. And if somebody is taking you there, you need to take yourself away. And I did that. And I vowed to myself that I am not going to spend my womanhood or my future allowing myself to get so angry with somebody trying to control an outcome, a narrative, an environment. If I see them acting up, I'm going to take a deep breath and I'm going to excuse myself from that arena. That's
Mhm.
it. Because I realized sitting in a hospital with sharp pains going through my chest, thinking like, oh my goodness, I'm going to have a heart attack. I'm going to be out of here. I said, this isn't worth it. What am I arguing for?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think that's interesting because, Yolanda, I don't think that Black women, and I'm going to go, I care about all women, all women's lives matter, but I'm focused on Black women today because this is just what we do. But I'm just thinking about how when you're growing up, you're never really trained to date, right? When you're a teenager, you turn 14 or 15, everybody's like, don't get pregnant, don't date boys, you can't really start to understand relationship with the opposite sex ever,